What's happening, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Starchildjr. Stuffs and Things podcast. And we're getting ready to get the family series started here, the family series of interviews. And I brought in today one of my bandmates, one of my favorite people to sing next to, somebody that I saw come into the game and all of a sudden take off on these enormous heights. And now I'm honored to be able to have her on my show. I brought Miss Kendra Foster on here for you guys today. Say hello to the people, Kendra.
Hey, y'all. What a lovely introduction, Mr. Shider.
Oh, thank you much. Thank you much. I love that headpiece, man. Look at you. You
I
always
just made it.
fashionable. Always fashionable.
Thank you. You have to stay creative.
I know that's right. I know
We
that's
won't
right.
talk about what this is supposed to be or what it was sold to be, but it's,
Hey, it is what it is right now. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. You taking care of yourself up there?
Yes. Ironically, better during the pandemic than pre-pandemic. So
That's a good thing. That is a blessing. I'm glad to
yeah, what
hear
are
it.
the odd blessings?
Hey, well, we don't question the higher power. We just go with the
Indeed.
flow. That's what's up. All right. Well, this is where we're gonna start. Like I said, man, I remember when you came into the band, kind of, and it was, I ain't gonna say you was green because you was doing
Brand
your thing
new.
yeah, but you wasn't green. You was doing your thing down there in Tallahassee, man, before you even came to, you was already kind of seasoned. So we're gonna start there. Let's talk about Kendra Foster, the origins, Tallahassee, Florida, little country girl.
A Tallahassee lassie. Okay.
Tallahassee Lassie.
So oh wow, Tallahassee. Now you really want to talk about some
Well,
Lowry.
let's talk about this. How did you get into, when did you first start singing and first know that you wanted to sing and get on the mission of I'm going to be a singer?
Okay, boom. So I have been a practical child, actually. So even though I was doing nothing but the arts when I went to college, I was like, yeah, I'll build, I'll get me a good job and I'll build a studio off the back of my house and I'll do music for fun. And so then I met Whitney Russell, a trumpet player, who was more in the jazz world, by going to a jam session when I was like tender age 18 or something. And I think through meeting him and his roommate, Mike P. Patterson, that was
Mike
obsessed.
Patterson.
Mike P.
What's up, Mike P?
Shout out to Michael P. Funk Patterson, because
that's the man.
If he wasn't so obsessed with y'all when I was all jazzy, mainstream R&B, with a dash of hip hop, and just really getting to know and falling in love with Prince, like I wouldn't have even really got like the jewel. And now I'm like almost like cult, like, about
right.
P in the. So anyways, with those fellas, little by little had me learning, stage setup, all of that. So gigging with them and really breaking into all of that until eventually I would not be afraid to face the audience or all the little stuff I went through. Then I ended up in bands like Whitney's Fish and Grits, which, like you said, in Tallahassee,
That is as country as it comes right there.
Get to
Fish and
blow up
Grits.
the sound, because, well, let me tell you something about Fish and Grits. It was an odd little fusion band of me and Whitney and a couple white dudes, and like we had people around the block at a club on a night that they didn't even used to be open, and it was like we blew up and we fell apart. And then John Tony, who's like my younger brethren from Tallahassee, and the twins, shout out to Lotus Love, Rashada Dewan and Saunders Sermons, all those guys pulled together Concept. And by that point, I think doing all that gigging, like deciding to change my major from math and chemistry to jazz studies and commercial music and spend all day with it. If I had to please the parents with a piece of paper, then let me just work on music all day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, doing all that, I think it was clear that, this can be a thing. This can be something to aspire to. and that it's not just a dream or a 1 in a billion chance. And then, through Mike P, like, him connecting me to like this obsession with P-Funk through, honestly, there was lots of stuff he would play me or we would cover in the band, and, making me do Belita Woods, immediately cover her, fell in love with her. Now she's one of my idols. But like, let's take it to the stage, suck me in. And then I was so obsessed with the P, I was following him to George's studio out there in Monticello. And so between having the dream and, maybe even not realizing I was on the precipice of cracking, into it, then that's where it kind of begins.
Okay. So what inspired you then? What inspired you? Something sparked it in you, and you said, you know what, I like this singing thing. I think I can do this too. And I think I'm pretty good at this.
It was finding out that it could actually be achieved and that it could make money, and that people really, like, it wasn't just the people we saw on TV all the time or on the radio or whatever, that you could make money. Like, I'd always wanted to sing. I'd always wanted to dance. I'd always wanted to even do visual arts, but mainly singing and dancing. It was just like, but
you just
I don't
always
know.
Entertainer.
Yeah, it was strange to like think that could happen, but as I was living in it so much, and I was seeing what it could do, even on a little like so-called chitlin circuit just around town. I mean, if you had enough gigs paired together, you did not have to have a job.
Right.
You could do a lot. So that's what really inspired me to like go hard and like really, okay, I can put everything into music. And then I think it was just like, especially at that point, like where school was still going on, jobs were still going on, all that, like connecting with y'all and George, like was like, oh yeah, I guess I do got something with Archie, had Archie Ivy had that talk with me, like, well, young lady would think that. I was like, oh, well,
I'm going on the road.
I can tell my parents I'm running to the circus TV to go off on the road, and like, this is how I'll secure everything, really.
Did your mother say with who?
Yeah.
She say with who? And you said George Clinton. She said with who? Nah, that's all good though. So, all right. So look, so where we getting it with the so Tallahassee beginnings. I was going to ask you about FAMU, but you kind of covered that. So if I'm not mistaken, I think you said when you went there for an academic major, and then you changed to arts.
Yes, I was a math major. Then I changed to chemistry because I thought it would be more creative. And then I changed back to math. And then
more creative than the arts.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. That like something that I thought yet again would give me like a bona fide, okay, I go to college, I get my degree, I either get another degree and then I go get my good job, you know what I mean? Or whatever that is. Even if and that's why math and science still gave me solace, because there's still all some creativity and magic off in there.
Right.
But I mean, I was just denying myself, it's like God had to rive practicality from my hand.
I know the feeling.
I dig
it.
And even though you are born of like legendary rock stars, and it's okay.
That's what made me take it for granted and be like, man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I've already seen that my whole life. Yeah. But for me, and I had seen education and all this my whole life, and I was still like, yep, that looks like it worked. That other thing that looked like. But then I had a breakdown in school. Like I just, you max out. I think, even now it's probably easier to do. But like I was doing school, I had a job, I was running out to Monticello, doing homework, like sitting up in a chair waiting on someone to let me get on the mic, and maybe they think I sing good enough. I don't know, stuff. So
just putting a lot on your plate.
Started out. I had 2 full scholarships, one from the state and one from science, engineering, math, chemistry, some cop scholarship. Now they call it STEM,
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, hey, I dig it. She's got brains too. Don't you get it mistaken, man. I'm trying to tell you, don't you take these women for granted in this industry,
Have
man.
you
Stop
ever
it.
felt the presence of a brain?
Ha ha. All right. So did you meet Mike P at FAMU?
Yes, through that. Because actually,
Okay.
whether people know it or not, Mike P was damn near, I don't know if he was drum major, but he was in the 100 at one time, a long time ago. At the point which I met him, he was completely a funk god and was just all about that and rock and
Okay.
roll.
Okay. Yeah, that's not hard to believe. That's not hard to believe,
He was
Mike.
practical at first, too.
Okay, so then FAMU is essentially what brought you to meeting Mike, which brought you to Monticello to meeting George, and then you said after a while, all of a sudden you were invited onto the road.
But it took,
And
but I'm telling you, it took a second because it
yeah,
was
I
like
bet.
y'all are gone so much. And by then everybody was practically living, like not everybody, a nice chunk. Jerome, so and so, such and such. So I just figured after a while, I was like, well, I done failed somebody's audition because it was about a year and a half. I'm like, I just want to be at the foot of the greats. Like even somebody asked me, what do you think? I was like, actually, I think by now, if I was some kind of star quality, somebody would have hollered at me. So I'm just here to like absorb. I would have
G
had
gonna make you wait it
no
out.
clue. It was that week. I worked with Tracy during my spring break. We ate, slept, cut, and wrote like a whole bunch of music. And I didn't know I'd already tried cutting something because George would just be like, well, okay, try this. With Blackbird, one of them songs with Blackbird, and I didn't realize they had already been like, oh, okay. When I was about to present all this work being Trelude.
Yeah,
Yes.
G gonna make you wait that shit out, man, and he gonna make it. And then you gotta sort that. Wait for him to, let the politics wash through, and it's a process, man. So
Yes, when I came in, it was on a trial basis. I was already signed to the production deal. But he was like, look, if you want to be in the band, we got to make sure everybody like you first. No, but
well,
he said that. He did. He did. Which
well
I
that
appreciate and respected.
Well, you know what? That's not always the easy task in this
I
band, but
say.
you did a wonderful job. You were very lovable, man. It was all good. I remember we was all, and we're the same age, so we were all kids out there
Oh
just
my
kind of
gosh.
enjoying ourselves out there. Just we thought we were running it, and we thought we were
Babies.
king.
Shonda, my boo.
Yeah, man, the whole crew, man. Everybody, man. We used to be a joy, man. So how many years did you spend in the P-Funk Band? That was the beginning of how many years?
Ooh, I think now I can say, what, 12? Well, that was 2002. And so I was still going with y'all even when D would take breaks. So it was like 2002 to 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 13 years. Goodness. You didn't have a choice. You was born into it. You, Shonda, all them. But like me, Rico, it's like, ooh, before you know it, you've been here.
Well, the
Even
years
when y'all
fly
came
by
in, when
though.
y'all were little ones.
The years fly by though. We spend so much time on the road, and it's like our days are so quick. Before you know it, it's like, wow, I've been out here. We've been doing this 4 years. I'm looking at you like you still just got here, and you like, well, I got here. It's 2006. I've been here 4 years now. Like, wow, that's right. It
And
has been that long.
we toured and y'all were doing this before I came along, long time, 85% of the year.
Yeah, man.
Non-stop.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell people, man, they think that it's fun and games, man. I'm like, man, this band right here, you ain't never gonna be
The
home,
hardest
bro.
working band
Literally,
at least on earth. At least
literally, people just don't realize that truly
literally.
applies to P-Funk. This
It
is the
really
hardest
did.
working band in show business, boy.
I'm
I'm
telling
trying to
you.
tell you. All right. So, at what point did you cross paths and end up doing the DAngelo thing?
Well, still on the mothership,
Mm-hmm.
#still on the mothership, because as it turns out, and as I suspected when D returned, because I was already a DAngelo fan, but when he came back with Voodoo, it was like, at first, and I was just falling in love with Prince, so it was like, ooh, bam. But then as I paid attention, I was falling in love with P-Funk. I was like, that dude's a funkadelic. So basically, it turned out it was true, because when we did that party for George, what was that, 2008, right before Obama was elected the first time, and he was there, but I had missed it because we'd gone to 2 locations, and by that time, you remember that second location? It was so vivid. It was so many people, so many rooms. It was so
I
much.
actually was not at that. That was my FedEx days. I was,
No!
yeah, I
Oh,
was
but your mom,
on
yes,
the truck.
your parents were. That's the thing. That's why
Yeah.
I'm confused. It. Well, they were with us. So this what happened. So me, Shonda, the usuals, we all and your father and mother, we all went to the bus early. We were like, we ready to leave, you know. So we sat on the bus from outside the venue for like 30 minutes to an hour before it pulled off. Then Barbarella gets on with and looking at pictures on her phone, and I was like, oh no, oh again. I've been trying to get
DAngelo.
George to like get him, because George was executive producer over me, my album, Sean's album, Believer's album, Tracy's album. So I was like, you could get him. He loves you. I'm sure he loves you. So basically that party from that point, begging Barbarella, please connect us. Like, I can't take it anymore. I want to write with him. And it just so happened he hadn't, you know, this album that we released, like when it was 2014, 15, like that was being advertised on the Vinyl Fever, this old store in Tallahassee's thing, what Monarch, whatever you call it, like coming soon. But you know, Barbarella was telling me actually he's still working on his album, you know, give him a call. But I didn't get up the nerve to call him till 2 months or 3 months after she had given me the number, blah blah blah. So then the day before Obama was elected, I was going to go work on the Kendra Foster album. What I didn't know would be that Promise to Stay Here, all that stuff. And so I just called him, and luckily he answered, because we all know he's an immense recluse, you know. So it was just kind of like he happened to answer the phone. I ran it down real fast. I was like, "Excuse me, my name is Kendra. Oh Lord, I don't know if Barbarella told you I was calling. Okay, anyway, I'm in P-Funk. I'm not the white lady. I got the red hair. You know, it's like 20 of us. You know, I really want to write with you. Da da dee, da da dum, da da do. So we talked for a second. I sent him a sample of something that I did with G and Robin Sue out there in London, and then like he hit me back. But it just so happened he had been watching us do the Montreux Jazz Festival on the BET Jazz channel or whatever. It was rolling, and he was like, he had wondered if was I that lady, because he was like, dang, you know, I like there's a similar sensibility. Who is that person? So it just so happened he'd already seen or known or had some idea, because he was, you know, so much checking for. And as it turns out, he is truly a funkadelic. Maybe even more than me, or even you. I mean, like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's so for real about it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, so that was by the time, you know, so yet again, I could say, you know, well, the funk kind of, you know,
Brought
ushered
you
me
there.
into that one easily.
Brought you there. So then you joined DAngelo and the Vanguard, is what it ended up being?
Yes, DAngelo and the Vanguard. We had a couple names we were trying on at first, the Spades, the this or whatever. The Vanguard stuck. And so then basically what it was, Garrett was like a baby funkadelic. It was so wonderful. It was like,
that was an all-star band.
Yes, I was with people our age or a little younger, you know, or variations between there, and like, but still behaving, like getting put out of the dressing room at BET.
But you got a little more freedom because you ain't got no OGs on you telling you, get out of here, stop doing that, and don't be doing that, and stop doing that.
I mean, and OG, Jesse Johnson is the one that fell through a glass table that made all the ruckus inside of the whole, like, talk. I mean, that's what another thing about Funkadelic. I was already with a bunch of very grown up, you know, young rock star. Like, they would outdo some of these children out here. Okay.
Yeah, they said, well, don't we know?
It was like George was Peter Pan, and he scooped them all up when he was 16 and 17 and took them to Never Never Land, and they never grew up.
Never grew up.
That keeps them fresh though. But yeah, don't get it twisted. They were not you know, they were not codgers.
That's what's up, man. The fucking Vanguard. That shit was wonderful, man. And then so you said so through all of this, you getting the number, making the call, and all up into you now finally being a part of the band, all of that time you said, so he was actually working on that record, huh?
It's that record, the record that was coming soon on the little sign outside our little old record store in Tallahassee. And
Uh-huh.
because it took it was taking longer naturally than people had expected. And by the
Well,
time I stepped into the picture, it was like 2008, 9. So it still took some time before
mm-hmm,
that. And there was a lot of working in between our touring,
mm-hmm.
because it would be like, look, buddy, that's my job. Like, we go be, if I'm staying home, then, and everything was worked out. He did everything right by the splits. But yeah, it was a process. It was a process to get to here. But we were even finishing songs on the road when we first did that touring in 2012 and came out before the album was actually even finished.
Mm-hmm.
And then other various little revolutions going on, like in America or whatever, in between that time, and them finally nationalizing, news about, modern day lynchings
Finally.
that were already happening all along, especially in Florida, where I'm from.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, yes, yes, yes.
So, well, do this. Will you tell the folks, for my listeners who may not know, tell the people which songs you wrote on Black Messiah we're talking about?
Oh my gosh, that I co-wrote. So I co-wrote 8 out of the 12, and sometimes I'm a little removed. So I gotta because I'm doing so many things now. So let me
Well,
try to
if
remember
you did
everything.
8 out of the 12, that's essentially the album. So probably
I
the four that
co-wrote.
y'all
I
probably the
co-wrote it.
four that y'all like the least. Those are the ones that she didn't write. How about that? Is that fair? Nah, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do that.
But
That was
my
because
favorite.
that was a dope album. It was all dope too. So I'm
Oh,
just being a clown right now. I enjoyed the
yes,
fucking album.
we're just joking. And
Yeah.
honestly, my favorite, like some of my really babies, probably because they really began when I came in the picture. Like I was able to take them in, and he, I was blessed that he had enough confidence for me to take my stabs at it melodically or lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
But Till It's Done, Tutu is the alternate name for it. The Charade, and Another Life,
Okay.
those. And even my original favorite, because there's some things, in the vault that were just incomplete, and I didn't even put as much on this one, but The Prayer,
Okay.
that one is another. And of course, Really Love, I guess we spent so much time with it, and that's another one that was pretty much, just a little bit incomplete. But it was, a killer. It was one of the ones I was when he'd give them to me in batches, for things that were already started, I would
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Ooh, I'm so glad this one is in the batch," So yes, 8 out of the 12, 8 out of the 12.
So you get down. So then you put in that work and you get the ultimate prize, man. That's the one that we all going for. And I'm surprised that you don't have it sitting in the background
You know
somewhere
what?
or waving it
Let me
around in the
bring.
camera right now. Because if I had one, I would probably wear it around my neck or some shit.
No, you could look. First of all, it's so heavy.
No,
Second of
I
all,
work out. I work
I
out.
work
I
out.
would wear it on my motherfucking neck. I'm telling you. So yeah, that is so the person that I met who came into the band all green from Tallahassee, the little country girl, Kendra, she put in all of that work, and that is what she got for her work on
I got two of them.
Black. Excuse me, two of them. She
The
only
other
showing
one
you
is
the one.
hiding.
She's only showing you the one because she don't want to floss or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So just the
All
one.
I have was my beautiful mothership. It's like a Grammy too to me,
Well, the mothership, come on, man. The mothership is like the pyramids or the the
Yes,
monument or something like that.
always there.
Yeah, like I can't. If I didn't have the green screen, I would have mine hanging up in here somewhere. I got two of them over
I
here.
know you do.
Yeah, I got two. I probably one of the last ones that got one, but that's probably why I got two. So there you go. But yeah. So
Yes.
but now yes, so you got the ultimate prize, man, and I it's been a few years now, but
Mhm.
however, that thing right there, man, like I guess I've never really had a chance to say it to you, but while I have you on my show, I'm going to take the time to pour all this praise now. I don't care if I'm late, because even if I'm late, I'm always on time.
Yes.
I am super proud of you. I'm super proud to see somebody that I've seen come from here, go to there, you know what I'm saying? And do that. You know, I'm proud that I can say, hey, I know a Grammy winner. It can be done. You inspired me. You made me work super hard. I appreciate you for that. Don't you ever stop.
Thank
And
you.
God damn, Kendra, just congratulations to you, man. Yeah,
Thank
keep that
you.
in the shot. Don't take that out the shot. You put that in all your interviews at home, man.
Well,
The people need to see that. They need to know. God damn it.
It's true. And I honestly, I couldn't have got here without y'all. There's no way. Y'all like this, y'all delivered me to this.
It's a family affair, man. It's a
It
family
is.
affair. And so now the last thing that I'm gonna kick it with you about is let's talk about Promise to Stay Here.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I actually created that a while ago, like 2007 with Kelvin Wooten. And so which is funny, it overlaps with kind of, well, maybe it was 2008, 2007 going into 2008. And it overlaps because that's when I was working on that and a couple other songs that would end up being my album is when, I started communicating with D. So, but it was so crazy because Promise to Stay Here is actually one of the few songs that Wooten did that he and I didn't do from scratch.
Okay.
It was one of the few things where he had a couple tracks just on one of the off days or while we were preparing to do something from scratch. And he had 2 rooms at the time, and I ran from one room into the next, and I was like, I want that, I want that, I want it. And so he said that at the time he was working a lot with Anthony Hamilton, and Anthony had luckily turned it down.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, and of course it's obvious Shaka vibes, Prince vibes, and that's where he aimed for. So I really did try to like go into my like love for Shaka and really find like a melody that would sound like her, over this. So Promise Stay Here is one of my first babies. That's who I bet on to be the single. And she ended up being a good bet. But let me tell you, when I released her, I have to say, I thought she was going to be old school. And I thought it wasn't going to be, it was going to be just something for us and anybody older than us and whatever. But then there was some little 26-year-old scout that had brought me to a studio, I guess, because they wanted more clientele. And I was playing what I thought was like Far Away or something I thought would be more youthful or whatever. And she was like, oh, that's nice. And I was about to skip Promise Stay. She was like, wait. And then when I played, she's like, this is my jam. I was like, what? And Tanisha wasn't but probably about, I want to say she wasn't more than 23 when she was staying in the room with me. And when she would beg me to open up my computer for the password to play that song over and over again. And I was like, okay, this is for everybody. So Promise to Stay Here is a very special portal. And now we're at like maybe I think having my album split it, but it's at least 5 million streams.
I just seen it. I was getting ready to say it, but you beat me to it. So I did my research. I did my research. Congratulations to you. I was just getting ready to say it. I was like, she getting ready to take my thunder. Go on with it, though.
I did.
Your thunder. It's not mine. It's yours.
I think too, it feels big because it was independent. The little publishing deal I got, because writing on Black Messiah, that it wasn't like the hugest advance, but I took it and invested back into myself. And luckily, we were nominated for these things because then that made the press part make sense that I was investing in all that. But I had to do that myself. But also, it really taught me the power of where we were going now. I mean, good, bad, or whatever, like with Spotify and all that, like not really understanding the power of the Spotify playlist and being placed on one. And luckily Promise to Stay Here at that time was loved enough. And I, they went on ahead and put it on some lists. So.
Okay, well, congratulations to you, man. You keep kicking ass out there, man. Let me ask you, I'm gonna ask you just a couple more things before we shut it down. So first off now, I'm gonna do this. I'm kind of trying to get into a little bit of legacy context for this family series.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to bring on a few of the P-Funk ladies.
Oh,
Yeah, I reached out to Lynn. I'm gonna see if I can lock that down. I hope
he's one
so.
of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah, yes, indeed. So what I want to ask you now is, speaking of someone like Lynn and like Dawn, and even when it goes back to like the Debbie Wrights and Jeanette
Mm,
Washingtons, and we can go down the line for as long as this band has existed. You
mm,
know, you are a part of that legacy, that woman's legacy of P-Funk. Um, and you shared it with one of the queens that we shared the space with, Belita. God rest her soul. We loved her to
yeah.
death. Um, what does that mean to you?
Oh my gosh. First and foremost, Belita Woods. I mean, being a part, well, y'all know Belita is my idol because and Lynn and Dawn and all the Jeanettes and Shirley and Sheila and
Shirley,
Maya and I mean, being a part
Sheila,
of that, like even
Janice
being for you
Evans.
to say that I am, I wouldn't just assume that I was, because it still feels like something it's just so big,
Yeah,
something that's so huge. So
yeah,
that makes me a little dizzy.
yeah. But you made your mark, so you're part of it. So you're
Yay!
part of it. You're
Now
part of
that's
it.
the real award.
You deserve it. Y'all earned it, man. All of you. Yes, yes. I'm trying to get the ladies on here too, man.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I have a listener who wears me out about, you don't put no women on your show. I said, damn, I had Sheila E on, and she was like, I'm talking about P-Funk women. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on it. Um, so yeah, that gave me the idea to even do this series. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
You know what? And Kendra is an activist too, in case y'all didn't know. So if you got any words of activism that you want to share, or any encouraging words for people who might be out here feeling discouraged and depressed. I know I had my moments. I had my moment just over the last week, man. I'm just kind of coming back because the news is wearing my ass out. And
Who?
the
Because you actually watch it.
yeah, well, I feel like I have to stay informed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's important to stay
See what
informed.
they're up to.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like the best tool that
Yeah.
I have right now, besides my vote, is to make sure that I know what's going on. Because if you ain't paying attention, they playing dirty right now.
Oh, yeah. And you gotta at least know what they're up to, so you don't have to look surprised when the
Yeah,
sky falls. Yeah, what I've been trying to do and what I've really felt is like it is time to just go in and like connect to our superhero. And I don't mean like you got to do some heroic or amazing act to connect or access that. Like maybe having the compassion and the self-love to go in there and be like, really connect to that. And I think that means like being nice to ourselves. I mean, I'm finding that some of my problems and a lot of our problem is too many conversations of unworthiness, too many conversations that are like cracking the whip, a proverbial whip. And so, in order to stay strong for your community, you have to really take care of yourself. And then really take a look at maybe, what does they say, work smart not hard,
work
like
smarter,
really
not
look at
harder.
those pivotal places. I mean, look, even if people don't care about you, maybe after we've done enough marching, making a phone call all day long when they know, there's too many constituents or people out there that could potentially put me out of this seat, if I don't act like I, you know,
Mm-hmm.
care or will do something about what they're saying. Sometimes, and in person that would make that phone call would probably make the vote or do the thing or take it a step further. So sometimes those weird, awkward things when you get a text from somebody and say, just call so-and-so and tell them, no, just read the script and hang up the phone and they're going to tick off a thing. There's all kinds of things. Or even better, I'm starting to feel more on a spiritual tip about revolution, because you know why? Because even though we have to pay attention, look how much you have to pay attention to. It's very hard to get systematic with an approach aside from, okay, go off into the self, churn up your superhero self, because that's going to make you not want to see other people oppressed. That's going to make the veils lift. That's going to make the programming, undo the programming. And then it's like, we just got to go to straight juju, because otherwise everything else, look at it, try and look at it from a policy perspective. Even voting, okay, that will do what it will do. But like, these are world affairs and things going on here and stuff that, so go in, because it's enough to go in. And hey, guess what? Once you especially be nice to yourself inside of here, it's a wonderful place. And then you radiate, from within, because look, they've had us dizzy for a long time. Sitting down during this pandemic, for those of us that were blessed enough to survive, gave us a chance to like breathe and remember who we are, because otherwise it's like this on your neck, So that's all I have to say about that.
I dig it. I appreciate it. I know you. I knew you was gonna get on the revolution at some point. That's what I was waiting on. I knew that was coming. Yes, indeed. And stay informed, y'all. And at the very least, go cast your vote. But pay attention to what you're voting for. Don't just go vote for the president. Go inform yourself too, man. Get some good information. Don't be looking at these stupid ass Facebook fucking what they call, man. I'm so sick of man. I don't even really fuck around on Facebook no more, because I'm just tired of looking at shit on there. I see my fucking post some fucking what they call that, some propaganda from some propaganda site, and they like, see, I told you. I'm like, man, you mother.
I can't. Yeah,
it's too much mud in the water. So
I think that's the key. Is like, my biggest deficit is I'm filing through the minutia of all the information to support the general underlying philosophy, but it's important though. But we have to. So I guess being informed. And
the thing is, there's just too much information out here now. Like, so if you
it's everywhere.
If you rewind back to like Watergate, there was 3 main broadcasting stations: ABC, NBC, CBS. It was just them 3. They didn't have to compete with a whole bunch of other extra shit and a bunch of home bloggers and reporters with a computer and conspiracy sites and all of that. They didn't have to compete with all of that for ratings. So it wasn't about ratings, it was about the truth. Everybody was just trying to give you the truth, so you could kind of trust the information a little more back then, in my opinion. Nowadays, there's just information coming at you from everywhere, man. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
I think that's the point, is that there's a lot of outlets and they are everywhere. They're not just, on the TV, they're on your phone, your computer, you're surrounded. And we surround ourselves, because how many of us go off into this thing all day long, even for anxiety? Some of us flip through. That nurtures my anxiety. I can't. I feel anxious. I'm gonna scroll through Instagram. No, that's gonna turn me into a monster. Like, no, I usually probably do something else, but it comes out in different ways for all of us, But we are definitely in an age where it's like, all right, we got the blessing of all this technology and this fast transmission and all this, but there's also a bunch of byproduct. There's more. It's we don't understand that cyber world, so there's more predators, more, theft, more stuff that you don't have to worry about your physical purse anymore. That's not what you have to worry about. You gotta
worry about some shit that you can't even see.
Your identity, or like your children, somebody trying to holler at your children on Instagram when they ain't nothing but 11 years old, and like undercover investigations that have shown that those same pervs will do it like within 10 seconds of the profile going up. Like, the younger they are, like, it's just, woo, geez, there's a lot. And if you make a mistake on social media, it's not like when you did it at school and you ruin your reputation and you can move to another school or whatever. Like, that's the world.
Your mistakes live in infamy now.
Just like anybody famous. I'm just like,
they live in
internet
infamy.
They can be hard to erase.
They live internet infamy.
Internet internet infamy. I want none of that.
You know,
But
you
yeah,
don't
but
want to go down in internet infamy, and it can happen to you easily these days. So you be careful.
you ain't
And
even got to do that then.
nah, buddy, you could just be. Everybody got a camera. You could just be looking, just that they're just looking wrong, just one day, and just like clack. Look, see,
Canceled.
yeah. Look at her. Look how he's looking at the little baby. He's spitting on the little baby, and he spit on the baby, and I saw it. He kicked the baby, and bye bye, and then it's just gone. This is terrible, man. Yeah, well, you gotta be careful out here.
But they're good stuff. The good stuff, we we can get the good stuff out. We just have to know how to leave the bad.
Yeah. I just try to keep it strictly for advertising and promotion at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Facebook is also good for connecting to family.
Man, I don't
I
want to
have
connect
found.
with nobody on social media no more. I just want to post my promotions and keep it moving. You know, fuck
Oh
social
my gosh!
media.
And your Stuffs and Things podcast.
Yep,
Thanks,
that's
Stuff and Things.
stuffs and things. Well, we talks about all types of stuffs and things. I
We
left that out in
did.
the beginning. That's usually part of my beginning, my little beginning call. I left that out, but we got it in today. I want y'all to give it up for Kendra Foster, y'all. She joined me on my show, and y'all go out there and be part of her 5 million streams. Go check out her music. Go check out Black Messiah. Go check out some of them old YouTube videos of
Yes,
us doing the P-Funk
subscribe.
thing. And subscribe. Go shoot them your website, man. Shoot them all your info. Where
Yeah,
can they find you?
y'all can subscribe to me, Kendra Foster. You can tell it's my channel because it'll have a certain amount of subscribers because they got a few. There's also a Brazilian. It's a whole nother thing. Anyway,
Stepping up.
somehow I'm related to some Brazilian character on Girls in the House. It's an animated Brazilian show, and there a bunch of people got on, promised to stay, and were like, Kendra Foster, Kendra Foster.
You star, sis. Get it.
It's on there on YouTube. I
Get
still
it,
don't know the
sis.
connection. But at MZ Kendra Foster on most any of the social media. Ms. Kendra Foster.
Y'all go check out the Grammy Award winning
Baby.
Kendra Foster. Y'all, thank you for joining me, Kendra, man. Much
I
love
love
to
you.
you. You take care of yourself, man. I hope to see you soon, man. Hope we get to
Yes.
share the stage again very soon.
Me
Because I
too.
missed the stage, man.
I miss you.
I miss you too, man. And I
Okay.
miss all of the P-Funk, man. God
All
damn.
y'all.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I hope we get to do it soon.
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
You take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon, okay?
You too, Garrett. This was fun. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you for
Okay,
having
well,
me.
you come do it again. We'll do it again.
Okay.